All right, welcome back to our review of lesson 331, division with rational numbers. I'm having a little difficulty with my printer, so I am doing this old school, and I've copied down all the problems that I expected you to do yesterday or last time, and I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how you would do them with accuracy and precision. The first problem here, we were asked for this problem set to put them into fractions first before we did any solutions. This would be -6/8, and I can reduce that down to -3/4. And if I want to change that to a decimal, I can, which would be 0 and 75 hundredths, and that needs to be negative as well. Some of you might have remembered that I have mentioned in one of our previous lessons that if the signs are different, we have a negative and a positive, then the answer is going to be negative, and that's what happened here. This next problem, similar situation, only this time we have the negative in the denominator location. I can reduce this to 3/-4, and I still get -0 and 75 hundredths. The next problem I have is 0/8. And if I do a division problem and I have nothing to divide into 8 portions, my answer is either 0 or can't be done. 6, again, similar type of thing. I have 6 things and I'm dividing it or portioning it out into 0 portions. I would rewrite the fraction like this, and this is again either 0 or cannot be done. This set of problems, you were given the task to solve these division problems any way you wish. I'm going to rewrite this first one as a top-heavy fraction or an improper fraction, and then I am going to do some reducing or simplifying. I know that there are 2 whole groups of 16 that I can take out of 34, and I'm left with 2/16 remaining after I do that. How many whole groups can I get out of the top part of the fraction of the numerator? I can simplify this to 2 and 1/8. This next problem is a little more complicated. I'm going to move it over here, and -16 goes outside of the division box because it's 512 divided by -16. I'm going to put my 512 inside, and I know that 3 times 16 gives me 48. 48, and I'm going to subtract. I'm just solving my problem here without worrying about the signs until the end when I have my answer. And I end up with 3, bring down the 2, and I know that 16 goes into 32 2 times. So that'd be 32 here. And because one of the numbers is positive and one is negative, my answer for this problem, which I'm going to circle, is -32. This problem here, because the numbers are fairly small, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this one as a division problem in fraction form, making sure that I take the negative symbol that goes with -23 and put it in the fraction. I can then simplify this to how many groups of 12 are there in, how many whole groups of 12 are there in 23, which would be 1. And then I have 11/12 left, and that would also be negative because I have a negative and a positive in my division problem. This problem down here is going to be a little more like the second problem. I have a number in the hundreds places here, and just to make sure that I'm being accurate with it, I'm going to rewrite it. -223 divided by negative 12. And I know that there is 112 I can get out of this group here, 103. And I know that 12 times 10 is 120. That's too much. 12 times 9 is 108. That's too big. 12 times 8 is 96. So we're going to put an 8 up here. 96. And we are going to borrow 13 subtract 6 is 7. And we have a little problem here. Mrs. Mennes-Coon didn't set this up very good, so I'm going to put a 0 here, bring that 0 down, and put my decimal place there. And how many 12s go into 70? Well, we would go to 5, because then we would have 60. And then we bring this down. We put a 0, bring it down again. And we have the number 8 again. We get 96. Bring down another 0, and now we're running into trouble here. So 3 goes here, and 36. And we're going to start getting a repeating. So our answer here is positive, because these are both negative, 18 and 5, 8, 3 repeating. And I'm going to circle that one again just to keep it separate from all my messy work over there. And let's scooch this up a little bit so you can see what I was doing there. Then here I've got negative 2 plus negative 6 plus negative 2. And I'm going to draw down here. So I've got negative 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus negative 2. And that gives me negative 8, people. This one here, I told you about a little strategy that we use when we're subtracting integers, and that's we keep the first number the same. We change subtract to add, and we change this to the opposite sign, so that would be 2. And negative 6, so we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 2. I end up with negative 4.